India, Indian National Congress 1885 to 1905. In the initial stage, this is the duration is given. Means from where to where that Indian National Congress were worked, then after when it was become the weaker. The first step adopted by the Indian National Congress was framing the constitution. Okay, the first steps. The Indian National Congress started the framing the constitution. This Mahatma had put some demand related to political right, economic and social development, and for educational progress. I mean, these demands were kept in this constitution in the British rule. These demands were the political rights, economic and social development, and for educational progress. These demands were rejected by the British government, and British did not accept this all demand because Britishers wanted to rule over the India. They did not have any. They were not live. They were not wish to leave India, and that is why they not wanted to give political right. And also they not wanted to develop our country India because they wanted to develop their country at the cost of the India's prosperity and Indian people. These demands were rejected by the British government. This demand had laid a strong foundation of future struggle. And while these demands were refused by the British government, and that is the why dissatisfaction among the people were created more. And various demands were presented before the British government, like more Indians will be included in the government service. Okay, like that, the British also give job to the Indians in the force as the constable in the police. Okay, also in the other administrative work as a peon and all. These jobs were given, but they did not give any higher post jobs. And even there was a very rare cases of the promotion of the Indian people. यानी कि जो बहुत कम लोग थे इंडियंस थे जिनको प्रमोशन दिया गया था मीन्स इफ दे वर लॉयल टू द ब्रिटिशर्स देन दे प्रमोशन अदरवाइज नो इवन देयर वाज आल्सो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन अबाउट द सैलरी टू ओके सैलरी में भी बहुत डिफरेंस था देयर वाज अ डिफरेंस इन द इंडियन एंड ब्रिटिश सैलरी सो बिग हाइप वाज देयर ओके सो the government service reduction of expense on military and other departments concession in depth on farmers, leading to prosperity to small scale industries like Gru Udyog, etc. These demands were kept before the British government for the more Indians will be included in the government service. So what the government is spends the money on the military and other department, it should be reduced. And also the farmers' debts should be reduced. And which are the very small scale industries, cottage industries should be developed more. The Mahasabha, Indian National Congress has passed many recommendations like keeping 50% elected representative by expanding the central and regional constituency. The executive will be responsible for legislation up to desired limit. Due to the demands put forward by Mahasabha, the Britishers relaxed control on newspaper and passed law individual freedom and freedom of speech. Okay, and this is the Mahasabha, that Indian National Congress. They have also passed many recommendations like in the legislature. Okay, that who are the elected representative? They should be 50% Indian in the central regional constituency, and the executive will be the responsible for the legislationship up to desired limit. And there should be the legislature also have some limits are there. And this demand were put forward by Mahasabha. And because of this, the Britishers put control on newspaper, and Britishers passed law of individual freedom and freedom of speech. यानी कि उन्होंने इंडिविजुअल फ्रीडम और फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच पे उन्होंने एक लॉ पास किया. The member of Mahasabha inculcate new energy and awareness in the educated class and give them political training. This lead to preparation of great freedom fighter from future. And while the our Indian National Congress leaders who were educated class, and when they gave them political training to our youth, and because of that they got the great energy and the lead to preparation for great freedom fighter for future. Then after to weaken this all the struggle, freedom fighter activities and nationalism spread all over India. To suppress this, that British wanted to make weaker Indian, and that is why they adopted divide and rule policy. Initially, Britishers had to affection and compensation for Indian Congress, Indian National Congress, but very shortly they were against it. इनिशियली मीन शुरुआत में जो इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस थी उसकी तरफ से द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वर वेरी अफेक्टेड and also they were get the compensation for the British rule too. But in short time, that Indian National Congress was understood that Britishers are not wish to give us self rule. They rule on us just only make us poorer, poorer and more poorer. And they wanted to make their country prosperous at the cost of India. So while they understood very shortly. And that is why INC also became the against them. In the first few conference held by Indian National Congress, the British government official remained present. Okay, while the first few conference was held by the National Congress, so in this, the British government officials they were present, but later on, the British officials put a ban on attending the meeting. But while they were realized that INC is established to make India free from the British rule, now they are against us. So then the British officers also banned to attending the meeting of INC. The Governor General Curzon, Lord Curzon, okay, who divide Bengal. So the Governor General Curzon took certain steps against nationalism and turned a dear, deaf ear to opinion given by Indians. Lord Curzon adopted the policy of divide and rule, and Partition of Bengal took place in 1905. So the Governor General Lord Curzon he took some steps against the nationalism that which nationalism was spread in India, in the Indian youth, to suppress this. So what is the recommendation given by the INC? So for this, that he turned a deaf ear to opinions given by Indians. Deaf ear means उसको अनसुना करना, जैसे कि उसे सुनना ही नहीं. Means he had not listened any recommendation given by the Indians. And then Lord Curzon adopted the policy of divide and rule policy. Okay, means if the Bengal is divided into the two province, so the one province in the majority of the Muslim and the another province will be the majority of the Hindu. So in the Hindu province that Hindu will the ruler, and in the Muslim province that Muslim will be the rulers. Means that is the way he wanted to make weaker us by dividing in Hindu and Muslim. And that is why the divide and rule and partition of Bengal took place in 1905 AD. So this question can be asked that who divides Bengal? So the Lord Curzon divided Bengal in 1905 AD. Let us see what was the partition of Bengal. So the Bengal was biggest province of the British rule. Many areas of Bihar and Orissa were included in it. Okay, so while the British were rule over the that time, that the Bengal was the biggest province of the India. यानी कि इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा कोई हिस्सा और सबसे बड़ा कोई प्रोविंस हो, तो that was a Bengal. And in that time, that in the Bengal, the Bihar, Orissa, they were included. Its population was more than 7 crore 18 lakh. At that time, Bengal's population also were more than 7 crore and 80 lakh. It was necessary to divide Bengal as administration of such a big province was becoming difficult. So this Lord Curzon has given the pretext, यानी कि उसने बंगाल को डिवाइड करने के लिए ये बहाना बनाया कि that is this province is very big, that is why it is very difficult for us to administrate it, so that is why we are dividing. Still, instead of removing the parts of Bihar and Orissa from Bengal, the Muslim dominated East Bengal was cut off from the main province. Bengal was the most awakened province during those times. And do you know that most of the nationalism activities were started from the Bengal? Okay, so that is why we also can say that Bengal was the most important province during those times. Then Viceroy Curzon wanted to develop communal differences between Hindu and Muslim by separating Muslim-dominated East England, East Bengal, and wanted to weaken the fast-growing national political awakening among people. Because in the INC, it was not just only for the Hindus, it was not just only for the Muslim, it was not only just for the Sikhs, but all the Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Jain, Parsi, both, all the religious people were united in this party. That is why the Lord Curzon wanted to make weaken the fast-growing nationalism political awakening among the people. This policy was opposed with the full aggression as the weak plan of the British government was understood by national leaders and the common people. And this policy of Britishers also was understood by our national people. Okay, and they were realized that Lord Curzon, he just wanted to make us weaken. He just only wanted to divide us. यानी कि वो सिर्फ हमें divide करना चाहता है, not any other intention. So that is why among the people that Bang Bang movement was started to prevent Bang Bang, to prevent this partition, which was a symbol of setting the unity in Bengal. Warriors, public places were given, public speeches were given, slogans were raised, and processions were taken out to above protest. Then uncontrollable templates were distributed. Vande Mataram song from Anand Mach, the written by novel of Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, became the popular slogan during the protest. A strong wave of nationalism unity was felt throughout the nation. The day on which the partition of Bengal started was considered as a sad day in Bengal. And strike was observed all over the Bengal as per the instruction given by the Rabindranath Tagore. That day was also celebrated as the Day of Unity. और उस दिन को Day of Unity के नाम से भी जाना जाता है. And also that day was considered as a sad day. Then Swadeshi movement. So it was decided to make protest of Bang Bang movement more powerful and widespread. This movement was led with three main objectives. Okay, so Bang Bang movement was not just only the opposition of the Bengal. But in this moment also, the three adjectives were: first is to undertake trade for Swadeshi goods. Means the Indians have to buy only Indian goods, ban and the picketing for the foreign goods. Number second, to boycott foreign goods. यानी कि जो foreign goods है, the clothes, cigarettes, sugar, okay, which are imported goods from the foreign countries, that is we have to boycott. Number third, to acquire national education. Means the many of the English universities were started during this time. That is why Indian were realized that now we have to boycott this English education and we have to acquire our national education. To achieve the above goals, the people of Bengal started a widespread fight and protest. A freedom movement committee was formed. This committee considered renowned national leaders of Congress like Surendranath Banerjee, Bipin Chandra Pal, Arvind Ghosh, etc. The Indians were presented to boycott foreign clothes and goods and use Swadeshi good. People were made to understand the importance of Swadeshi goods. Means people will also make aware that what is the benefit if we use our Indian indigenous goods and what are the disadvantages if we will use the foreign goods. The Swadeshi movement was activated and propagated by the articles in newspaper, processions, public meeting, and folk songs. Factories were started which will produce Swadeshi goods. The goods like clothes, salt, sauce, sugar, cigarette, tobacco, etc., which were being imported from England, reduced radically, and the sale of Indian clothes and commodities increased. The Swadeshi movement was not only limited to Bengal, but it spread in various parts of the country. And this Swadeshi movement, it was not just only in the Bengal, but it was also spread in various part of the country. And because of this, the Britishers got so many loss because of this boycott. ओके और इस बाइकआउट्स की वजह से ब्रिटिशर्स को बहुत लॉस हुआ था इन दी ट्रेड. National education. So now that time, many of the England English universities were started, and in that university, that school, English education was given. Okay, so the movement of 1905, which was associated with the social boycott and propagation of Swadeshi, had its third important characteristic, and that was national education. Okay, there were three adjectives of the Bang Bang movement. Okay, and that was the third adjective of this movement was characteristic was national education. So students took showed active participation in the Bang Bang movement. As a result of it, students were punished in group and they were dismissed from the college and the school. Okay, means students also were dismissed from the college and the school. Such steps were taken consequently as a part of alternative education. National schools were started. Means while the Indian students were dismissed from the school, because of this, for the alternative education, that national schools were started in 1907 AD. There were 25 national secondary school and 300 national primary school in Bengal. Rabindranath Tagore started Vishwa Bharati School in Santiniketan. Santiniketan is the name of his house. The Rabindranath Tagore's house name is the Santiniketan. Okay, and Rabindranath Tagore also started Santiniketan in Santiniketan Vishwa Bharati School in 1901 AD. The British government fell in preventing the fight that had started for Bang Bang movement. Finally, the British government had to cancel the partition of Bengal in the year 1911 AD. It was a historical victory and a memorable victory for people of Bengal that was achieved through peaceful and non-violent steps. So this victory, the first victory of the Indian people by the people of Bengal, it is also the very historical and memorable victory because it was achieved through peaceful and non-violent step. यानी कि बिना किसी violence किए they were make what is the law made by the Lord Curzon. It was not implemented and it was cancelled. Okay, students, what is the left thesis I will teach you in the next class.